It's Wednesday, and you know what that means. It's time for fuck this shit.
Eh, is it time yet? Is it the 6th yet?
Let me tell you, I didn't even want to do a political stream whatsoever. I didn't. I've been putting it off as long as I possibly could. Look at the shirt, for crying out loud. I know it's backwards because Restream doesn't like to freaking switch my shit around, but whatever.
Make shit look right.
But honestly, like, why? Why? I almost don't even want to talk about it. I know I promised I would, but we all know the drill. Trump's an asshole. Like, we got that. And Kamala Harris is promising all these things that she's going to do, and yet she's been in office for almost 4 years with Biden and hasn't done a damn one of them. So, do we want somebody who's not going to do anything, or somebody who's going to do stuff but be an incredibly loud, obnoxious prick about it?
It's as always every 4 years. It's the greater of two evils. Which evil is less evil?
And that's all it ever is. I've brought this up before. Like, the Republican and Democratic Party, I understand they're a lot different than they were when they first started, have been controlling this country since 1860.
Has it really been that long since somebody that wasn't a Democrat or Republican has been president?
Yeah.
It's been almost 200 fucking years.
Yeah, it's been 164 years since we've had somebody other than a D or an R at the end of their name has been the president of the United States. It's been that long. And look at where we're at. Aren't we in such a great place?
Oh, Josh laughs in third-party voter. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I know I really have no room to talk here. I didn't go to a ballot box. I didn't write. I didn't fill in a circle. Because, again, I'm not educated enough on the topics to know who to go for. Listen, I will say I would never fill in the circle next to Trump's name because of absolutely everything that we know about the guy. We know a lot about that motherfucker. Go ahead.
I would probably be more inclined to pay attention to politics if it wasn't everybody talking so much shit on each other. Like,
it's a big Mean Girls fucking situation every 4 years.
I feel like it's worse than that. These are middle-aged people.
Some elderly, my boy.
Middle-aged elderly people cutting promos on each other like they're in indie class, like they're going through the performance center or something. And it's like, oh, good, you got all these quips, but I think the best comparison I can make, that they're great talkers, they can't work in the ring. We are voting for Enzo Amore, people.
Hey. Okay, I can't even back that up. Enzo was a dog shit worker. There was a couple times. It just depended on who he was cooking in the ring with. Like, his matches with Neville were always really good.
You know what I mean, though. Like,
I know exactly what you mean. It's, I don't even know, because Disco wasn't good on the mic. It would be like the aura of Goldberg, but his work rate.
Pretty much. And like, even the aura of Goldberg that might be overselling it, quite frankly. Like, I don't think. Listen, I'm sure Kamala Harris is a nice person. I'm sure that, people are going to, like, crucify me if I say anything nice about Trump. But, like, I'm sure he's not as abrasive as he comes off. It's hard for me to imagine that, but
Have you had a
But
chance?
I don't want either of them running the country
Take her.
because of the parties that the platforms that they're pushing. It's ridiculous. It's like
Oh yeah.
they are working for one side or the other. They could care less about actually doing their job to help the American people.
It's very rarely about the little people. It's very rarely about
Never
us.
about the little people. It's about the 600 people, 635 or whatever it is, people in Washington, D.C. That's who it's about.
Mhm.
Other than that, they don't give a shit. Somebody want to prove me wrong? It's like, oh, well, they did this, so they did this. Blah, 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 blah. Show me one policy that has helped every single American person, or at least like 80 to 85% of
Oh,
the American people, that
and
hasn't been an unmitigated disaster. Go ahead.
one side is always going to look at you and bring up, well, during the pandemic, we had these stimulus checks rolling in. Do we know where that 12,000, every 2 to 3 months came from? Where exactly? Like, are we in even more debt now that everybody in the U.S. was getting those checks and stuff like that?
I can't complain because I was a victim of the unemployment era of the pandemic.
Oh, it's completely understandable, but like
I mean,
a lot
without
of
it, the
people are
show wouldn't
using
exist.
a lot of people are using that as like the one standing point that they've got.
And that's my problem too. If everybody focuses on one particular thing, it's like, oh, well, they don't do this thing that I like. Screw everything else. I'm not voting for them because of this one thing.
One thing.
Shut the hell up. If you are so ingrained on one thing, turn off the news. Do what I do. Turn the news off. Go outside. Go talk to actual people. Listen, I am somebody who is like glued to my device, but I am more in touch with the real world than a lot of you people out there.
Oh yeah.
Can,
Human interaction does
can
the
tell
world
you,
good.
let me tell you something. My name, the name Gregory, actually translates to being watchful. I have always been somebody who is an observer. I have always been somebody who watches how things are done, how things get made, how people act. I've always had that mentality of just sitting back and studying like human emotion and like human reactions to stuff and all that type of shit. I have never in my entire life been so frustrated with people who are so ingrained in politics they make it their entire damn personality.
They make it their lives, bro, not just their personality. They make it their basis for their whole life.
Okay, let me put it this way. There are people in who make politics their life, like the AEW and WWE tribalists make that their life. It's the exact same thing. Exactly the same thing.
Oh,
And
yeah.
there are people way smarter than those trolls who do that stuff. It's like not everything has to boil down to politics. I understand politics is basically invaded and sucked the joy out of everything in life. But my gosh, would you shut the fuck up about it for a minute?
I got coworkers, man. I got coworkers that are that exact way. Like everything
Maybe
they talk about
smack in
has
the
to
face.
be it it's crazy because these people do talk like this is the only thing that we have to talk about. Like this is the only thing that we can make conversation about. Like there's a reason that some jobs put into like their company policy to not talk about politics at work because it is such a hotbed discussion no matter which way you look at it. And it goes topic to topic.
And maddening. It is absolutely maddening to see the way these people react. And let me tell you something. If I made politics my life the way other people do, I would have to be on suicide watch. Like I would be so miserable.
Well, but
Like
I guarantee you'd have an insane following because these people lap that shit up, man.
I do you think I haven't thought about that? Like, just
saying fuck it and going full politics.
I feel like I would puke. Like, if I decided to take that leap and just become a political commentator, I would hate myself so much. Because I would actually have to, like, fully pay attention and fully absorb and, like, just engulf myself in politics. And I would sooner jump in an alligator pit than do that.
And the alligators might be nicer to you.
I'd even, like, rub barbecue sauce and, like, dump a bag of sugar over my head and jump into the alligator pit dick first. And I would much rather do that than engulf myself in politics.
Dude, it's just insane. And so many people, and I know you see this all the time on Twitter, and people say you can disagree with someone and still be friends with them. Yes. But the thing is, you can totally do that. But some of these people are defending and, advocating for shit that's just not okay on a personal level.
Let me put it this way. The party platforms that the Republicans and Democrats have are very contradictory of each other, like of their own party platforms.
Oh, yeah.
They're very hypocritical. Like, there's stuff in the Democratic Party platform that's hypocritical of stuff that is still in the Democratic Party platform. Same with the Republicans. Like, there's a bunch of stuff I look at as like, okay, you support this, but you also support this. And that's both sides. It's like,
yeah,
your platforms don't make any fucking sense.
Because there's no real such thing as true left or true right. You with your mental thought processes will mingle that shit together and formulate what you think is right, what you think is okay societally. Yeah,
but
that's not going to be the same for everybody else. But that's what politics is you're formulating everything from both sides.
And let me tell you something. If you don't defend that party line to your death, you will get burned at the stake for it. Like people think that, like, Christians are nuts. Christians are insane. Don't get me wrong. There are Christians that are completely but speaking as one, there are Christians who are completely out of their mind.
Oh, I could go on a rant like he just did for the last 20 minutes on that topic, but I won't.
But, like, seeing some of these radical political people just, like, defending it to their death, and like, I see it on my TikTok, I see it on Twitter, I see it on TV. Like, even like these streaming apps, all they run is political ads. I'm like, shut up! I don't care. Why are you running these ads for 3 months trying to get me to not vote for this person? What does your person do? I don't know, because you're talking about how big a piece of shit the other person is. Why would I want to vote? Why would I want to even have my right to vote at this point? Honestly.
Now, if you also think about it, that far right side uses the Bible almost to a disgustingly sinful way.
And you know what? You're not wrong. Again, as a Christian, you are not wrong. I feel like, especially in American Christianity, American politics, they take the Republican ideology and try to Christianize it. And
yeah, they try to make that stance seem like it is the godly thing.
And I have such a problem with that. Because, like, I listen to some Democrats who aren't Christians, and some of their stuff sounds more Christian than the Republicans Christians who are saying this. Because, like, I
who go to church every Sunday.
I do go to church every Sunday. Like, I'm one of those people. Like, I work in the sound booth for the church I go to. But it's one of those things where it's like, what happened to like caring about people? What happened to treating people with respect? Seeing other people hurting and like trying to lift them up, but instead it's all just a power grab, and like I can't stand it. Fortunately, like my church is not that way. Fortunately, like I'm very happy with where I'm at.
Mhm.
But there are a lot of places that just take the Bible and bastardize it, and I hate it so much.
I wouldn't even say
I would.
bastardize. Like they use words from the scripture to try and demonize other people. Like they'll use what they see as God's word and stuff like that, and they will use that to try and demonize whole groups of other people. And now these people are trying to be like, oh, well, if you're not, with these stances, with these things, you ain't a Christian. Like, what the fuck is going on there? I thought Christianity was about all inclusiveness.
It is. That's the thing.
God loves all of his
Let me
children.
tell you what, like people are far more judgmental of other people than Jesus is of them. Like,
look at the chat real quick. That's a crazy
oh yeah,
story.
I see that. Savannah in the chat, which might be a first time chatter. I'm not sure. So I appreciate it, Savannah. Thank you so much.
I believe so.
My ex mother in law was not a Trump supporter, named her dog Trump. That's insanity. Freaked out on me when I voted Democrat and she was a Christian. Listen, I was not going to vote for Hillary in 2016. I voted Libertarian in 2020, and I'm voting for myself this year. So I completely
vote for that.
Here's the thing. If your Christianity is based on your politics, you're not a Christian.
And that's the ringer.
Like your faith has to be in Jesus, not in who's ever leading the red party. If that's a truth you guys don't want to hear, then sorry about your damn luck, but that's the way it is. Josh, I'm
trying to keep myself from getting all theological.
And listen, Josh, like I understand, like there's like a whole theological debate to this. There's a whole. This is what I believe. I truly believe, Jesus is the Savior. I believe, and like I exclude politics from all of this because, in my mind, it's politics are way far down on the level of really anything. So I don't take political affiliations or any of that into my faith. I don't because I can't.
Oh, there's a fantastic little bit in the Constitution that says separation of church and state. Politics shouldn't in no way be tied to your religion.
And unfortunately, on both sides of that coin, it's abused. But
Josh, I was in the church system for a large portion of my life. I left it on my own terms for my own reasons. I can get into full-on discussion, on the theological side or the what's the word I'm looking for, Greg? Like the spiritual side of stuff.
Like, I will say that.
Like I can get into full conversations, but I choose not to.
I will say this: Christianity is ruined for a lot of people by a lot of people.
Oh yeah.
Because the way people interpret the Word of God, I feel like, especially if it comes off in a completely different way than it should be taken, that turns a lot of people off Christianity. So these radical people who say that they stick to the
radical religion. Radical religion is the absolute worst thing that there is on this planet. And I will wholeheartedly stand by that. I don't know, man.
I know. Okay, Liz, I know.
Radical religion leads to
political shit. Here's the thing. Politics is a radical religion. So
you've got a very valid
exactly. People fight to their death. So it's absurd.
Oh, and Josh, my father's name is Michael, the Archangel. So,
all right, I think that was my rant. I don't need to cover it anymore.
you made more out of this rant than I think you thought you were going to.
Listen, and that's not bad for not preparing anything for this show. Like I just felt like, you know what?
I had 25 minutes of Russell Wilson bits.
Hey,
so
Russell Wilson, I will say this. Russell Wilson did a fantastic job on Sunday night. He didn't start out that way. Don't get me wrong. It looked really bad. It looked first season at Denver bad.
I think he brought the second half play of Denver with him.
Yeah.
Did he light up the scoreboard in that second half?
Oh, yes, he did. And you know, a lot can be said about the 2 picks from Beanie. That was very helpful. Beanie Bishop.
Yeah, pulled off. Yeah, I was about to say, I know Urinating Tree tweeted out, once again, the Steelers are getting bailed out by the high-end talent of Beanie?
Good old Beanie Bishop. He got 2 picks off of Aaron Rodgers.
In the same game.
In the same game. Good
off of Rodgers. That's another insane stat because few people in NFL history even have an interception off that guy. Let alone
he got 2
in the same game.
He's a rookie, dude.
So, how are you feeling about your Steelers right now?
I'll tell you what. This is not an awful start by the Steelers. Like, we're 5-2, leading the AFC North.
You guys are leading the fucking division?
Well, I mean, we're tied with the Ravens. Like, we're both 5-2 at the moment.
But don't you have more division wins? I think we got one more division win.
We don't have any division wins yet.
I thought you played the Browns already.
No, we don't. Like, we have the Giants on Monday night. We have a bye, and then 6 of the next 8 games are divisional games. Don't forget the Chiefs on Christmas Day.
Hey, you guys are probably going to beat the Chiefs on Christmas, but
let me say this. Because
actually, I don't know about that. I don't know if the Chiefs are going to lose another game now that they got a X receiver finally.
I am much more confident about the second half of this season, the way it's played out so far, because Steelers being 5-2, hopefully 6-2, beating the Giants on Monday night, should be in a very good position for what looked like the toughest part of their schedule. The Bengals are starting to play better. You know, the Ravens are the Ravens.
And
the thing is with Baltimore the last few seasons, the thing is with Baltimore, Lamar Jackson can't beat the Steelers. He's 1-6 against them.
But that one it wasn't playoffs, was it?
No. I'm talking like Lamar Jackson got outplayed at quarterback last season by a Matt Canada-led Kenny Pickett. So, you know, with a better quarterback situation and we still got a solid defense, I don't know. Steelers might make a run for the AFC North title. Like I think that's still possible.
And you got 2 quarterbacks who are playing moderately well.
Yeah, Russell Wilson did very well on Sunday night.
Josh, is there any way I can back out?
But listen, Josh, I am sure right now you are glad that I didn't offer the bet for this year, because you would probably be like, I will do anything to avoid having to wear the other team's jersey.
Look, man, Josh Allen, or not Josh Allen, Deshaun Watson.
Listen,
an Achilles tear couldn't have happened to a worse person.
Yeah. I mean, I watched that replay a couple times, just watching his leg like explode.
You just wanted to watch that little rubber band snap.
It was a weird thing because, like, it wasn't graphic, but like what happened.
Yeah, because we saw it happen with Rodgers, and when it happened to Rodgers, absolutely everybody had like 90 different fucking camera angles at it. So that way
It's
now
not like
we know
it's
what
not
an
like
Achilles burst looks like.
it's not graphic like the Aiden Hutchinson one. Like it's not.
It's nowhere. But here's the thing: they showed Hutch's injury more than they showed Chubb's injury. Do you think that's
Well,
on ESPN or do you think that's on CBS?
that's probably well. Did that game air on CBS? That Lions game
No, I
against
think it
Dallas?
was Fox. I think it was
Yeah,
Fox. It
it
was
would have
Fox
been
because it was
Fox because
game
that's
of
an
the week.
NFC game. Yeah, that's probably
Oh,
on Fox.
Josh, I said this on a comment section on a YouTube video. There's absolutely nothing, and I mean nothing, that's going to make me feel sympathy for Deshaun Watson. As a matter of fact, I feel an Achilles tear is a minimal injury for what he should suffer.
Yeah.
I will never harbor any fucking resentment or remorse for someone that did something what he did.
Exactly. Like this is a respect women place.
And I held back for the sake of Greg.
This is very much a space where we respect women, and we've proven that on a number of occasions.
So with
yeah,
that being said,
we have no sympathy whatsoever for Deshaun Watson.
With that being said, with every fiber of my being, fuck Deshaun Watson. I hope he suffers the worst and most painful recovery in an Achilles ever.
Nick Chubb, speaking of...
Now, Chubb, on the other hand, happy to see that boy come back and get a fucking touchdown in his first game back in a year and a half.
Mm-hmm. He got a touchdown against the Bengals. Wasn't enough.
They ran that ball 4 times. They ran that ball 4 times on the 1 yard line to try to get Chubb in that fucking end zone.
I mean, hey, I get it. Like the Chubb injury was something I could only watch once. Like that one was nasty, and like,
dude,
I still remember.
Like, ESPN themselves were like, okay, yeah, we're showing this once, and we're not showing it again.
They didn't show it.
I swear they showed one replay, and then they were like, we're not showing it again.
No, they didn't show it at all because like Chubb was down on the ground. You could hear the entire Pittsburgh, like they showed it on the Tron in Pittsburgh. The entire audience just like gasped in horror. And it was at that point the announcers were like, you can hear the crowd reaction. That was for what they just saw with the injury. We are not going to show that on our air. I was like, that's not good. And like the entire place
game also that game also proved that you Pittsburgh fans are probably top 5 in the NFL.
Yeah, we don't root for injuries. Like it's a rough thing. You don't want to see anybody go down like that, especially Chubb. Like Chubb, he plays for the Browns. That's the only thing we really have against him. Like we don't have anything against him.
Incredibly unproblematic, a hell of a player, probably one of the best running backs in the league behind Derrick Henry.
And to see him go down like that, you don't want to see that. Like even if it's for a rival team, you don't want to see anybody like that get seriously hurt. Especially like you said, he's unproblematic. He's just a great player, and it was just a sad situation. We're glad to see that like he's playing again, and you know, best of luck to him
in his first game back. It's awesome to see Chubb back. I really kind of hope they limit his touches this year, though. I hope they're probably going to have because this is a tank season. There's no way around it.
I mean, they're already 1-5, 1-6.
1-5. Their starting quarterback tore his Achilles. They traded away their starting wide receiver. Like Jerry Jeudy's their wide receiver 1. Yeah, go all in, tank. I know Josh might hate this. Myles Garrett could go for 2 first-round picks, legitimately.
Can you imagine the like heart attack Josh would have if Myles Garrett got traded to Pittsburgh?
I think we would hear a collective shriek from Cleveland, Ohio.
Probably.
Like any Cleveland fan in the area, you will hear their heart stop.
And then just gathering around the Browns stadium being like, you are a factory of sadness. Listen, it was weird being in that building for SummerSlam. Like I haven't been for a football game. I've been to obviously Heinz Field, Acrisure, whatever you want to call it, but I had never been to Brown Stadium for anything. So it was weird to see. It was weird to see a world championship there.
I'm looking. Take it in, Cleveland. This is the only world title matches you'll see in your history.
I needed that. It's been a rough month, dude.
I'm sorry, Cavs fans. LeBron isn't coming back.
And the Yankees knocked the Indians out of the ALCS. So
Guardians were politically
sorry.
now.
I'm not used to calling them the Guardians, man. Listen,
bro, I still call Washington the Redskins. If I don't call them the commies, it's the Redskins that come out of
or
my
the
mouth.
Football team. Like it takes time to get used to. I'm still calling freaking Acrisure Heinz Field. Like I'm still not used to that.
That's forever Heinz Field. Just like for me, the Broncos Stadium will forever be Invesco. Like it'll forever be Invesco Field for me.
Not even Mile High.
Well, it's Invesco Field at Mile High. Like it's always been at Mile High. Like it's Empower Field at Mile High.
And no, Josh, this isn't pick on Josh Hour. I'm a Steelers fan. You're a Browns fan. Like you know the deal.
And Sean Watson's a piece of shit. So
yeah, but listen, if the Browns were 5-2 and the Steelers were 1-6, I'm sure you'd be having a field day about it, wouldn't you?
Hey, you see the Broncos. We made the Saints look like bitches on their home field, so I can't say anything. I felt fantastic this week.
So I might be watching the Monday night game on a cruise ship. So works for me.
Who do you guys play on Monday?
Giants.
You know, I think you could take that one off.
Listen, it's one of those things that'll drive me nuts. It'll probably be a 3-point game. Like,
Savannah, the Browns have never been good.
Yeah.
The Browns haven't been good since the Broncos were playing them in the playoffs back.
No, the Browns have one playoff win in the last however many years, and Cleveland fans won't let. Yeah, Cleveland fans won't let Pittsburgh forget it. It's like, hey, remember that time we beat you in 2021? It's like, well, that was the last thing you did. So,
Josh, not wrong, but I don't ever want to hear Daddy mention trading Miles ever again. Hey, man, imagine the draft capital. Look,
listen,
you guys are already tanking. If you guys are already tanking.
Not only that, it was brought up on McAfee the other day. The Browns are taking $70 million cap hits for the next 2 years because of that contract he gave them.
How many?
It was like $70-some million per year cap hit for Deshaun Watson.
Oh.
Because of the guaranteed contract.
Yeah, no. Restructure that shit like a Bobby Bonilla deal. Keep the team happy for the rest of and just feed Deshaun $1 million a year every year until he dies.
I mean, that's actually a better deal than the one they have.
Hey, and if Deshaun Watson does choose to just walk away from football after this, like that would probably be the smartest deal for Cleveland to do. Also, speaking of salary cap, I can't believe I am free of Russell Wilson as of this next season.
Hey, listen, we appreciate
as of next season.
We appreciate that you're fronting a lot of the money. Don't get me wrong, especially if he's got to put out wins.
Dude, I forgot he's essentially playing a contract season for you, isn't he? Because he's only getting 1 year from you, right?
I don't know if it's a 1 year or a 2 year deal. I think the first year was definitely you guys are paying
Yeah,
load of
it's
it.
100% paid by us.
I think there was an
Because we're paying
option
him
for a
83
second year.
fucking million this
I'm
year.
pretty sure there's an option for a second year that we would take on the number of his contract. Savannah, I like you.
And,
Stay around.
Yeah, come on, join our show anytime you want. And we appreciate Jerry Jeudy, of course. How do you appreciate him? I don't think he's got like 300 yards for you guys.
He's only got
season.
less.
Like, I love the comment section today.
Oh, that's a good one.
But yeah,
Notre Dame is 6-1.
We have. Oh, you guys won this week?
We beat. Oh, my mind is a blank right now. We beat Georgia Tech, and pretty convincingly, actually.
I know they didn't play this week, but somehow I think they still lost the bye week. How about them Cowboys?
It makes me sad Jeff isn't on these shows because we could totally rip on. I still want to rip on him for the Lions game.
Look, I don't think I've ever seen a team more aggressive to try to put up 65 points in my life. The Lions were trying their ass off, even with backups. Hendon Hooker threw a fucking touchdown pass.
Yeah. Speaking of the Lions, good on them for beating the Vikings.
Hey, the only undefeated team now in the league
is Kansas
the
City.
Fucking Chiefs.
Mm-hmm. I'll tell you what. I think Kansas City's on borrowed time with that. I think sometime in the next 2 weeks, they're going to lose.
They're definitely going to lose in the next 2 weeks. But what I do think is now that they have a legitimate number one wide receiver in DeAndre Hopkins,
yeah,
it's a different story, man. Patrick Mahomes he's got somebody that can average about 8 receptions a game because at one point in time, I think 2 years ago when he got traded to fucking Tennessee, DeAndre Hopkins had a dropped ball rate of like 7%. 7% of the balls that went towards him during his career were dropped balls, meaning that anything else that was caused due to incompletion was an interception or a ball that went sailing. I hate that. And Cooper Kupp is still available too.
But listen, I've heard Cooper Kupp to Pittsburgh rumors. I ain't believing a damn thing until I actually see. Hey, he put
You also heard what? Devontae Adams to Pittsburgh.
Devontae Adams, yeah. I mean, that was even less of a chance than Ayuk, who's apparently now out for the season for San Francisco. With a leg injury.
Oh, no. Did you see the hit?
I did not watch the 49ers.
Full ACL tear.
Oh.
Imagine the hit that happened to Chubb. Just a little less gruesome.
That's unfortunate.
It was not a pretty sight for Ayuk. And also, while we're talking about injuries, Chris Godwin's career might be over too. Did you see him break his ankle?
Mm-mm. I heard that like he was playing garbage time against the Ravens. And
it was completely garbage time. He did not need to be out there. And he caught like a 15, 20-yard pass. It was a routine tackle. However, the middle linebacker or whoever tackled it, full ankle, and whenever the play ended, you see Godwin like get up, like try to push himself up and pull himself forward, and that left leg just like dragged behind him.
Oof.
So, yeah, Chris Godwin probably out. That could be a career ender. I think Devin said that on the cart. He mouthed, "That's it. That's career." So, Chris Godwin, that sucks. One hell of a wide receiver. If this is his career, he had a damn good career doing it.
Yeah. You never want to see anybody get hurt. Like, we know what the deal is when it comes to football and the brutal injuries that go into it. You don't want to see it happen. Like, you want to see good, clean games. You want to see your team win, obviously. You don't want to see the injuries.
Dude, we've seen some bad injuries this season, too.
Yeah. Savannah's saying that she's from Missouri, but she's never been a Chiefs fan. That'll make you happy, Maddie.
Understandable. We had the Rams for a long time, so it was nice to watch them.
Yeah, but before the Mahomes era, Kansas City was not good.
Oh, y'all had Trent Green. You guys had Alex Smith before he was really good. Matt Castle had a good season with y'all after leaving New England.
Yeah, that was what Matt Castle had the season when Brady tore his ACL, and then he was like, "Oh yeah,"
because I think Garoppolo had the suspension season, right?
Something,
or was it the other way around?
No, I think Garoppolo was when Brady was suspended for those couple games, and
Matt Castle was ACL season because he led him like a 12-5 season, 12-4.
No, I don't think the Patriots made the playoff that year.
What? Really? Hold on. Let me look this up because I remember Matt Castle having like a 12-4 or an 11-5 season. Was that?
I think 11-5 sounds right. I do not think the Patriots made the playoffs this season. It may have been 10-6. I don't know.
Could you imagine having an 11-5 season and not making the playoffs?
Listen, we've seen 7-9 teams make the playoffs by winning their division. So weird.
To be fair, that was the NFC North.
No, that was
South.
the NFC
NFC
East.
South. Oh, was that East?
That was East.
I thought you were talking about the NFC South like 3 years ago.
No, it was a big bit on this show, like in 2020. The NFC East was probably the most garbage division I've ever seen while watching football. Like every team that year sucked, and I think Washington, the football team, made it with a 7-9 record because everybody else in the East was just so god awful. What's up, Dwayne? Good to see you, my friend. Hope you had a good birthday. I know that was a week ago. Yeah, let me know because I'm pretty sure Matt Castle was. I want to say it was an 11-5 season because that was the year Steelers went to the Super Bowl and won it against the Cardinals. Oh, you're back. I thought you were looking it up.
Searching it up right now. Yeah. I had to leak the snake real quick.
Wow. Well, good thing that wasn't.
I said it in the nicest way possible. Damn it.
Yeah. Listen, I understand we want viewers. I don't think that's going to help anything.
All right. All right. That's not what I'm needing. I'm needing win to loss ratios, not games played. Matt Castle wins.
Just look up Patriots 2008 season. That'll tell you.
Yep, 2008 was in an 11-5 season, but they missed the playoffs. Imagine going 11-5 and missing the fucking playoffs.
I mean, it just showed the strength of the AFC that year.
What does that mean? 2008 was that
Steelers Cardinals?
No, I'm trying to think of the AFC East.
Dolphins would be my guy.
Was that Mark? No, Mark Sanchez was what, 2010?
Yeah, it may have been the Jets. Jets went to the AFC Championship in 2010 and lost to Pittsburgh.
2008 AFC East.
It wasn't the Bills. The Bills were bad.
It was the Dolphins who...
I thought it was the Dolphins.
The Patriots barely missed it. The Dolphins only had one more divisional win against New England. You want to know that divisional win against? New England.
Yeah.
This is 2008. This was the Ricky Williams game.
That would do it. Because I know the Steelers beat the Titans. Or no, the Titans lost in the first. Did the Steelers play the Titans? Because I remember Titans went in as the number 1 seed, and they stomped on the terrible towel and then got ousted in their first game of the playoffs. And then the Steelers went on to win the Super Bowl. Fun stuff.
Savannah says she watched the Steelers Cardinals that year at the Super Bowl. That was a fun game to watch.
It was a very fun game.
I think, Greg, you and me said this is probably a top 5 Super Bowl, like for enjoyment to watch.
Yeah, and for Steelers fans, it's probably top 5, and it's not 2, 3, 4, or 5. I'll tell you what. Watching Super Bowl 40 against the Seahawks, like the Steelers pretty much dominated that game. So it wasn't. It was awesome to see them win, but as far as a quality game, it was okay. But Super Bowl 43 was just such a good game. So many memorable moments.
That was. Hey, I didn't realize we're decade brothers. We've won decade Super Bowls.
We have.
Broncos won 50. You won 40.
I won 40. Mm-hmm. And Jeff won 30.
Yeah, Super Bowl 30. Now we got to find out who won Super Bowl 20. Super Bowl 20 was the Bears beating the Pats. It was 80, I think 85, yeah?
Yeah, 85.
86. It was the 86 Super Bowl. So we share Super Bowl decades with arguably some of the greatest teams of all time.
Yeah.
85, 86 Bears, the Cowboys during their reign of dominance. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that Steelers team arguably was one of the best defenses in NFL history on top of one of the most explosive offenses.
The funny thing was their defense for 43 was even better than their defense for 40.
Oh, and that I wouldn't even say that's crazy because just the teams, like the players that y'all had on that defense, Troy Polamalu, James Ferrier, James Harrison. What was the foot?
Brett Kiesel, Larry Foote.
Yep. Did y'all have a young Hayward?
I don't think Cam Hayward has won a Super Bowl. So
I don't think so. I think he got drafted.
He was either a rookie when we went to the last Super Bowl for 45, or he was a rookie the year after.
And then you look at that offense you guys had too. Hines Ward,
Keith
Miller, Ben Roethlisberger. Was that Willie Parker's? Was that Willie Parker's last Super Bowl or last game?
I don't know if it was his last game, but Willie Parker had the longest run up to that point, or the longest play in Super Bowl history up to that point.
Mm-hmm. Didn't y'all also have Ike Taylor at the time, or did you guys get rid of him at the time?
No, I think we had Ike Taylor at the time.
Remember when he was deemed the dirtiest player in the league?
Yeah. Listen, I heard the same thing about Hines Ward. I heard the same thing about Hines Ward when he blocked for people.
Well, here's the thing. Hines Ward used those crack blocks to
they're legal now.
Advantage.
Yeah, those aren't legal blocks anymore.
He was hitting people like a linebacker at wide receiver. Oh, yeah.
With a big old smile on his face.
All right, let's see who the last decade brother of ours is. And that would go to I was about to say it goes to the Steelers.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So decade brothers.
We are. Yep. I got 2 of them.
You do got 2 of them. I don't need 2 of them. I beat the Panthers so bad it felt like 2 of
them. Well, Jeff will probably rub 30 in my face, but whatever.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
What's the last good thing
you got 2 in between Jeff's 1.
Yeah. Listen,
should we run through this week in the NFL?
We can do that. We got way more time to do it this week than.
Oh yeah, we tried to run through that shit.
Oh yeah, and that did not work. Well, I mean, it did work. Listen,
I mean, we got through the game.
How about me hitting back-to-back weeks of parlays?
Hey, I was about to say that's something that we should actually be, applauding Greg for because
before last week I'd never hit one. I've hit 2 in the last 7 days.
Hitting back-to-back is wild. Also, speaking of wild, Josh, if the Browns win the Super Bowl in 2026, I might just have to get a Browns tattoo on my body.
I'm not doing that.
Just like that little Browns tattoo somewhere on my body.
He's got one photographic proof, and you know that.
I will give photographic proof.
That's a whole nother conversation.
All right, so we're starting off We are starting off with the Thursday
Mhm.
night game. Vikings traveling to LA to play the Rams.
I think the Vikings are going to be in some sort of mood after losing to the Lions on Sunday. So, sorry, Rams fans, the Vikings are taking out.
Aaron Jones runs for 150 yards with
Oh,
2
I hope
touchdowns.
so.
I think the Vikings absolutely storm through LA tomorrow
I
on
hope
Thursday.
so. I got Aaron Jones in my fantasy team. Absolutely. I hope he does.
Green Bay travels to Duval County to play the Jaguars.
Speaking of people on my fantasy team,
the
Packers.
I don't think AEW could do enough to protect the Jaguars from what Green Bay is about to do.
I think Moxley's faction is the only thing that could remotely help the Jaguars.
Yeah, because they're gonna kill Jordan Love.
Yeah,
That's the only way Jaguars win this
pretty
game.
much. Give me Green Bay for that one.
Oh, hey. We have a Yinzer.
We have a Yinzer. Savannah, I knew I liked you.
But yeah, Green Bay is absolutely slaughtering Jacksonville this Sunday.
I hope so. Not that I have anything against the Jags, really, but I fully expect Green Bay to win that.
Moving on to what could potentially be the worst game of the week, Arizona traveling to Miami.
From what I understand, Tua is not back for this game, but he could possibly be back for week 9.
And I before we go on, to the Miami doctors that cleared him for any form of physical contact of any fucking sort, probably should need their license revoked. If Tua takes another fucking concussion, I want every doctor that was on that situation to lose their license, because Tua is 2 weeks younger or 2 weeks older than me. 2 weeks older than me. I'm 26 years old. You kind of think about shit like that, and then you see someone taking that many hits and go into a comatose state like that on the field. No. Miami doctors should have medically retired Tua. That's the right move. But, hey, we'll see Tua out on the field in a couple weeks. He'll probably throw for 350 yards, and people will act like this shit didn't happen. I hope Arizona blows Miami out of the fucking water.
This game will end up in a tie. I don't care.
That would be even worse. I think that would be worse.
Tie.
The New Jersey Jets playing the New England Patriots. I think Drake May gets a win here, guys.
I think Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams are actually going to hook up, because the Patriots defense is not the Steelers defense. So give me the Jets on this one.
All right. Oh, it sent me back. Give me a second. Bada boom, bada bing.
I have it pulled up too.
Jets? Okay. I got back to where we were.
Okay.
Divisional game.
Yep.
Baltimore traveling into, Josh, I'm so sorry, Cleveland. Cleveland, unless Nick Chubb puts up 250 yards rushing and 150 yards receiving, Baltimore's going to run through you guys like a wet piece of paper towel.
Yeah, and I don't think it matters if Jameis Winston or DTR is starting for Cleveland. I mean, Lamar Jackson is playing very well right now.
And so is Derrick Henry.
Derrick
so
Henry.
Is their defense.
Yeah. So give me Baltimore for this one.
I don't know if we'll see a more absolute team win other than Detroit on Dallas than we will this
I'll say this. You can never tell with the AFC North.
You can never tell with divisional games, man.
No, you can't.
Divisional games are always
this one
wild.
May be closer than we think, but
I still think Chubb goes for 2 touchdowns.
I mean, he may very well. We'll see.
Eagles at Cincy, two teams that really need to kind of kick it up if they want to make the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about this game because, like I said, the Bengals are getting better, but they're not wildly
They're a
impressive.
second half of the season team.
Yeah, they're very slow starters.
Kind of same with Philly, other than what, 2 years ago when they went undefeated until they played the Commanders?
Yeah. Give me. I'm gonna say give me Cincinnati. Like I don't want the Bengals to win because AFC North, but I think this one's gonna be a tight one. I'm gonna say like 27-24 Bengals.
I think Cincinnati's run game is going to be what defines this game, and I'm going with Saquon Barkley and the Eagles.
Okay.
Indianapolis, traveling into Houston after they lost.
This will be fun. Like this will
The
be.
Strouds are going to murder the Colts.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick the Texans too, but don't count out the Colts. But I don't think Flacco's starting. Flacco's not starting though, is he?
No, AR5 started for them last week, and he's going to be starting for them this week. If they started Joe Flacco, I think it would be a closer game. But this week, probably. I'm going Houston. They're probably going to win by 14.5.
Okay. All right, we got rapid fire these. We got 2 minutes to dynamite.
Tennessee Titans versus the Detroit Lions. I am going Detroit.
Yeah, me too.
Detroit's steam is going to run out soon, but it's not against Tennessee. Atlanta going to Tampa, divisional game.
Give me Tampa. I know we just talked about the injury to Godwin, but give me Tampa Bay.
Tampa doesn't have wide receiver 1 or 2. I'm taking Atlanta here. The New Orleans Saints traveling to the Chargers. I am going with the Saints because I have no faith in the Chargers.
Yeah, I'm going with the Saints too.
Buffalo Bills traveling to Seattle, the other side of the states.
Josh Allen still has no interceptions at all.
That changes this week.
I mean, it may, but still give me the Bills.
I'm going the Bills, but Josh Allen still throws an interception. Bears at Commies.
That'll be a fun one. Like that'll be a really fun game. Give me the Commanders. I know they're dealing. Or Jaden Daniels just went out though.
Jaden Daniels has been dubbed out a week to week. I'm assuming it was a bruising on his rib as opposed to anything like that. But I'm going Commanders too. Even if Marcus Mariota is playing, that Commanders team is just too complete. Chiefs at Raiders.
Kansas City. Next.
Panthers at Broncos.
Denver. Next.
But if there's a team to lose to Carolina, it is so.
I mean, Carolina has a win this season.
Now Sunday night, prime time, Cowboys 49ers.
This game was.
I think I'm going Dallas.
I think I'm going to have to too. Like I think the 49ers are too beat up. And
49ers are beat to fuck right now. So yeah. And the Monday night game, Greg, you know about this. You guys are slaughtering the Giants,
freaking
right?
hope so. Like, there's no excuse. The way this team is playing, there is no excuse to lose to New York, which means we probably will. It's a Mike Tomlin team, baby. That's the bread and butter.
The standard is the standard.
Very much. All right. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank God we didn't talk politics the entire hour.
We still got 20 minutes in, which I'm still impressed about.
Thank you very much, Savannah, too, for joining. The first time chatter, and you've been great in the chat. Very much appreciate you. Thank you, Josh. As always, we appreciate having you in the chat as well. Everybody else in the chat. We love our chatter. We really do.
Yes, we do.
You don't even have to send us money, even though that is an option. But until 2 weeks from now, when the election's over and it's the day after my birthday, vote for me. Write my name in. I don't care.
Would that make me your running mate?
Listen, I don't think there's an age restriction for vice president, is there?
I mean, JD Vance is what, 30 something?
I don't. I think I pay attention to that.
I don't fucking know, Greg.
I don't know the ages of wrestlers. Do you think I know the ages of politicians?
I try to keep up with ages of sports athletes because money.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, go enjoy Dynamite. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great night, and we will see you in 2 weeks on the Greg Cherry Show because I'm going on vacation. And then
enjoy your vacation, Greg.
I need it.
You fucking need it, bro.
Yeah. Have a good night. Don't